Hey YouTube, how's it going? I'm back again, and today I'm going to make a little video about an NES accessory that not a lot of people probably heard of or ever seen before, and that is the NES Satellite. Now, I've looked up on YouTube and there aren't really too many videos, really showing what this thing is and its history and what it can do and all that other good stuff, so I really want to take the time to show you guys this thing, because it's really, really cool. And I know a lot of people have never heard of it either, or really have ever seen one before. So I really want to take the time and show you guys this thing and what it can do and all that other good stuff, and hopefully persuade you guys to buy this thing because it's really, really cool. But before I do that, I went to my local Salvation Army today and I found 3 new Atari 2600 games to add to my collection, which is up there. As you can see, I have some Atari stuff up there. So, I have 3 new games here today to add to my Atari collection. These were $3 a piece at my local Salvation Army. Probably a little expensive for Atari games because, personally for Atari games, I wouldn't want to pay more than $2 for a game. But I really have not gotten anything new in any of my collections in such a long time, so I figured, why not? I really haven't gotten anything in like a month, so I figured just why not. So, and these are all games I didn't have, so that's pretty good. First game I got here is Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, I have seen the video by the Angry Video Game Nerd about this game, and I'm kind of curious to try it, but it doesn't look very fun. But I didn't have it, so I just figured I would just grab it. Next up here is Air Sea Battle. This, in my opinion, is the best of the 3 games that I picked up. I have played this, and it is a lot of fun to play. There is a single-player mode in this game, but this game you really have to play, 2 players to really enjoy it. It's not very good single-player. Well, it's good, but not as good. This game is really designed to play with multiple people, so this is a great game to play with someone else. And last but not least, we have Adventure. Not an RPG like a lot of people think it is. A lot of people think that this is an RPG made for Atari, but it's really not. It's really just like it says, adventure. All you do, you're just a block going around, like just picking up keys and moving into doors and just a whole bunch of other crazy stuff that you do. It's really not that, it really doesn't hold up that well today anymore, actually, so I really can't see myself really getting into this one. But the label right there is torn, as you can see, but I really don't know if I'll just really care to replace this because it just doesn't look very enjoyable to me, but that's just my personal opinion. So that's all the new games I got, so I'm just going to move the camera here and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the NES Satellites. So hold on one second, I'll move the camera and show you. So here's a closer look at the Nintendo NES Satellite. So, like I've said, this is a pretty obscure accessory released by Nintendo. A lot of people have never really heard of this thing. I've never really seen that many videos on YouTube talking about this, which is pretty surprising because this is a really neat device. So, what this basically is a wireless 4-player adapter for your NES. So, you would need this receiver right here to plug into your NES. It has the 2 controller ports right there to plug into the front. This will work with the Model 1 and the top loader as well. The controller ports on both Model 1 and Model 2 are the exact same. So it will work on your top loader as well as your front loader, which is what this is really designed for. So you need that receiver in order to get this thing to work, by the way. So on the outside, obviously you have the 4 controller ports right here. And right over here you have the turbo you have the turbo buttons for A and B, which is really the selling point. Another one of the selling points of this device is the turbo function on it, which is pretty neat because the people who don't want to fork over the money for an Advantage or an NES Max, you can just pick yourself up one of these and you can get Turbo Fire built right in, which is pretty neat. And then you have a controller and gun switch, which I really don't see the purpose of this, because if you want to play a Zapper game, then just plug it into controller port 2, 3, or 4, and the controller in port number 1. So I really don't see the point of this switch, but it's there nonetheless. And then of course the power switch lights up red right there to let you know when it's on. And there's the little receiver right there where it can receive signals from your NES to the device itself. On the back here, it has the copyrights on it. I know my camera sucks, so I can't really show you, but it says Nintendo NES Satellite, copyright 1989 Nintendo, made in Japan. So on the back, also right here, is the battery compartment, which takes 6 C batteries, which this is absolutely heavy because of that. So I would honestly say that it rivals the weight of the NES itself when it has this many batteries in it. But the batteries last quite a while, so that's always a plus. So being that this thing is really heavy and it has the rubber feet on the bottom, you can put this on a table and really it's not going to slide around on you or anything like that because it's so heavy and it's got the rubber feet. Then it's a pretty stable device, and it is really rock solid, like I said. So yeah, that's really the device itself. Now, there are a couple of problems with this device that really didn't make it very popular. Well, it was popular at first for one thing because it was a wireless device. Back in 1989, that was considered such, high-tech stuff, right? Well, these days it's not really that reliable anymore because of the technology it uses. The NES Satellite uses technology called IR, wireless infrared. So that basically means that this has to be directly pointed at this thing in order for it to work. So you have to keep it, a few feet away. It really can't be that far away or else it won't work. So it has to be pointing directly at it, and it has to be pretty close to it in order for it to work. Being that this is a really early wireless device, a lot of electronics that use that same kind of technology, they really don't hold up much anymore. So that's really all there really is to say about the problems with it, other than the fact that this thing didn't sell very well because not a lot of games were designed to work with 4 players, which is what this was really marketed for. But if you are looking for 4-player games, and they would have this logo on it right here, where it says 4-player game right there. This happens to be Nintendo World Cup, by the way. There are some other games that I have that support 4 players, like I have NES Play Action Football, Kings of the Beach, Super Spiked Volleyball, Super Jeopardy, Super Off-Road, games of that nature. Those are all the really good ones that support this, but other than that, there really aren't that many others, which is pretty disappointing. So if you are looking to get one of these things, I wouldn't pay more than $10 for it. You can get them online for pretty cheap, actually, because they're not really in demand. So, there are plenty of these out there, but like I said, they're really not very well known and they're not in high demand, so they're going to be pretty cheap. So I would not pay more than $10 for one. I got mine for like $7 or something, so I got mine for pretty cheap. So, do I recommend this thing? I honestly don't, because there's a device that Nintendo also released 1 year later that's very similar to this, which I'll get to in my next video, called the NES Fourscore. It's pretty much the same thing, but instead of it being a wireless device, it actually has a cord coming out the top. So I honestly would recommend that rather than this. But if you're a collector, then, you definitely owe it yourself to check this thing out, because it's pretty cool. So that's the NES Satellite. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching my video. And stay tuned for my next one, where we'll take a closer look at the NES Fourscore. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.